As a sports fan, we all enjoy iconic NBA photos throughout the years. However, some people may not know the backstory to why these players did what they did in the photos. Here's a breakdown of the backstory behind an iconic NBA photos. Dwayne Wade's pass to LeBron. On December 6, 2010, the Miami Heat were facing off against the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee, with the first look at the Miami Heat Big Three with LeBron James and Chris Bosh joining forces with Dwayne Wade in the 2010 offseason. With the new look Miami Heat, there was a lot of anticipation to see how this team would play with Miami Heat's new Big Three on the court together. The Heat were 12-8 through the first 2 months prior to this game. Wade said that during the game, there was a lot of hecklers in the crowd, so when he was on the fast break, he saw LeBron trailing him. He threw a bounce pass to him, and the rest was history. By far, one of the coldest sports pictures of all time. Allen Iverson's step over Tyronn Lue. In Game 1 of the 2001 NBA Finals, the Philadelphia 76ers had just came off 2 Game 7 series against Vince Carter and the Toronto Raptors and Ray Allen and the Milwaukee Bucks. With the Sixers being the heavily underdogs against the Los Angeles Lakers, who had not lost a playoff game yet in the 2001 postseason, AI and the 76ers needed Game 1 to be a statement game that they were there to compete. In the first half, Allen Iverson was on fire, having a 30-point half on 11 of 24 shooting. That wasn't until a 23-year-old second-year player, Tyronn Lue, would slow down Allen Iverson in the second half from his hot start, scoring 11 points and only 3 points in the fourth quarter, shooting 20% from the field on 1 of 5 shooting. Iverson said that he was being held by Tyronn Lue, and it was frustrating the hell out of him. Despite the 76ers having the lead for most of the second half and a young Kobe Bryant struggling in Game 1 with only 7 points in the second half, Shaq would lead the charge for the Lakers with 23 in the second half to add to his 41 on the game, and the Lakers would come back to send the game to overtime with the score tied at 94. In overtime, Allen Iverson would lead all scorers on both teams with 7. With the Sixers up 101-99 with under a minute to play, Iverson gets an isolation in the corner with Tyronn Lue playing airtight defense on him. He takes a rip dribble baseline, snatches the ball between his legs to create the separation he needs to get a shot off, makes the shot, and the rest is history. One of the most iconic photos in NBA history. Iverson said that when he walked over him, he didn't know he was going to do that. It was just a reaction being so into the game, and it just happened. He would later say that the moment was a, yeah, in your face. He also said that he didn't like the moment because he has a lot of love for Tyronn Lue because he idolized Iverson as a player, but the photo will still go down as one of the coldest NBA pictures of all time. Michael Jordan's game-winning celebration versus the Cavaliers, also known as the shot. In 1989, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls were making their stride to become a championship contending team. Despite finishing 6th in the regular season, the Bulls would open a lot of eyes in the postseason as they went up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who finished 3rd in the Eastern Conference with a regular season record of 57-25. Back in the 80s, NBA teams would face teams in the division 6 times, and the Cleveland Cavaliers had beaten the Bulls all 6 times. Also, NBA series would be best of 5 in the first round, so the first team to win 3 games would win the series. Many of the media and sports writers had the Cavaliers sweeping the Bulls. Some had the Cavs winning 3-1, and some had the Cavs winning 3-2. In Game 5 and the series tied at 2 games apiece, the Bulls had to win a tough game on the road against a good Cavaliers team. The game would go back and forth for a majority of the game, with Craig Elo, Mark Price, Ron Harper, and Larry Nance carrying the load for the Cavaliers as they would combine for 85 of the Cavs' 100 points. But Michael Jordan and the Bulls would refuse to lose the game. With 16 seconds left in the game and the Bulls down 97-98, MJ gets the ball at the top of the key. He drives right and takes a 2-dribble mid-range pull-up jump shot to put the Bulls up 1 with 6 seconds left in the game. But the Cavs would respond. With Craig Elo inbounding the ball, he throws the ball to Larry Nance on the right elbow and gets the ball back on a bounce pass as his defender would be trailing him and would lay the ball up with 3 seconds left in the game and the Bulls down 1. With the Bulls down 1 point, everyone knew who was going to take the last shot. On the inbound, Jordan goes to the ball and jukes around to try to get open as the inbounder's defender was playing off the inbound pass. MJ gets the ball, takes 2 dribbles to the free throw line area, and shoots a double clutch mid-range jump shot over Craig Elo for the win, and would upset the 3rd seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, and MJ would have the iconic celebration picture after the game winner, saying, "Go home, motherfuckers, go home." He said that because there were sports writers who had written him off, saying that the Bulls were gonna go home. Several years later, in the documentary The Last Dance, MJ said that the Cavaliers made a huge mistake putting Craig Elo on him for the last possession because Ron Harper defended him better. But this moment will go down as another iconic picture in NBA history, as everyone famously knows as the shot. Kobe Bryant in the locker room, sad after winning the NBA championship. In 2001, Kobe Bryant and Shaq were dominating the league in the early 2000s, with them coming off a championship against the Pacers a season prior. Heading into the 2001 NBA Finals, the Los Angeles Lakers had won 90 straight games dating back to the end of the regular season and into the postseason. Unfortunately, the Lakers streak would be snapped by Allen Iverson and the 76ers in Game 1, but Kobe and Shaq and the Lakers would win 3 games in a row to win their second NBA championship. But the backstory to why Kobe was sad in this photo dates back to 2000. 21-year-old Kobe Bryant had engaged to his girlfriend Vanessa, who was 18, who he met at a music video shoot he was doing in 1999, in which he happened to be there. At the time, she was a senior in high school, but unfortunately, Kobe's parents wouldn't approve of their relationship because she was of the Latina descent, and his parents didn't want Kobe marrying a girl outside of the African American race. Because of this, Kobe's parents didn't attend Kobe's wedding in April of 2001. With Kobe's hometown being Philadelphia, his parents still lived in Philly when he was in LA, but Kobe's parents didn't attend any of the games in the NBA Finals, even with the Lakers closing out the 76ers in Philadelphia in Game 5. In the locker room and the Lakers celebrating their second title, Kobe was found in the locker room shower with the trophy, sad and crying. Most people thought it was tears of joy from winning another championship, but he said, quote, "It was about my dad." After that moment, Kobe's relationship with his parents would never be the same. In 2013, Kobe's parents were auctioning Kobe Bryant's high school Laura Marion jerseys and rings from the 2000s titles that he gave to them as a gift. His parents would later come out with a statement saying, quote, "We regret our actions and statements related to the Kobe Bryant auction memorabilia. We apologize for any misunderstanding or unintended pain we have caused our son and appreciate the financial support he had provided over the years." In 2016, Kobe wrote a letter to my younger self player Tribune, saying, quote, "The most important advice I can give to you is make sure your parents remain parents and not your managers," and ended it by saying, "Trust me, setting things up right in the beginning will avoid a ton of tears and heartaches, some of which remain to this day." A very emotional backstory behind such an iconic picture. Rest in peace to the Black Mamba. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see a part 2, and drop iconic pictures I should do next. Like always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.